there. I'm Amy.Connell. Welcome to Graced Health, the podcast for women who want simple and grace-filled ways to take care of themselves and enjoy a little chocolate. I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who wants you to know your eating, movement, and body don't have to be perfect. You just need to be able to do what you're called to do. Throughout the month of December, I'm doing something a little different. I am spending time over on Instagram going live with 8 honorable mentions as an addendum to my book, Your Worthy Body. So if you have been with me for a while, you know that I just released a book called Your Worthy Body, Find Freedom and Health by Breaking All the Rules in November. And in it, it has 22 rules to break. These are rules we've possibly and probably heard about our health that oftentimes don't necessarily motivate us or inspire us in the way that they are intended to. And in fact, they can create shame surrounding our health. And so I am trying to break this mindset, change our mindset about our body, our food, our movement, how they all work together. I'm offering these addendums live on Instagram, but then I wanted to take them and give them to you because I know some of my community, and this may include you, only connect here through your ears through podcasts. And I know that because that's how I am with a lot of the people I like to connect with. I don't necessarily go back and forth on Instagram or Facebook or certainly not Twitter. I'm hardly ever over there, but I love connecting on the podcast. So I am doing what I call being kind to my future self. And I wanted to continue showing up in December. And I'm also wanting to ease up a little bit in my own responsibilities and my output. So for the month of December, I am taking these Instagram lives and replaying them here on the podcast. Of course, if you have not gotten your copy of Your Worthy Body, then I have a link in the show notes below. You can certainly go get that. And let me tell you, get one for your sisters, get one for your Bible study friends, get one for your book club friends, get one for the girls you go out to dinner with, because this is who it is for. It is for the sisterhood of women who are ready to change their mindset. Okay, let's jump in. Hi, everybody. I am trying something new, and that is I wanted to come on several times this week and several times next week because, as you probably know, I just came out with this book that you may have seen, Your Worthy Body. And, the book writing process is kind of weird. And what I have realized is as you get going, I created it and then it went through all of these different stages of editing and refining and cleaning things up. And as I was going along, I thought there are things that I wish I could add. And I just felt like it was later than I wanted to include them. So I just kind of kept notes, and I kept notes of things that I really wanted to include. So those are things that I want to be going through this week. I'm calling them honorable mentions. So they weren't necessarily talked about in the book, but they certainly deserve their spot. And again, it goes all along with this, rules to break, things that we've heard, things we need to change our mindset about, and really just to create this path of a grace-filled shame. What's the right word? Like not having shame, taking that away about our body, about our food, about our movement, and just really entering the year feeling empowered, feeling like we can do something in a sustainable and realistic way. And maybe that is that we just keep doing what we've been doing. Maybe we tweak some things. Maybe we listen to our body that is changing, and really just taking an opportunity to not get into this culture of having to lose weight and having to eat perfectly in order to have the optimal health, and really figuring out what's best for us, what's best for me. And I can tell you that the way that I've been moving in particular lately is very different than I did even 10 years ago for sure. But every year I learn more about my body. And of course, every year my body is changing. But today, what I wanted to do is give you something that I have seen. I have to admit, a lot of the chapter titles were inspired by Pinterest, and not inspired in a good way, because again, it's rules to break. And so I kind of would know what I wanted to talk about. And I would go to Pinterest and type in motivating fitness quotes. And then I would just kind of see what it came out with. And it turns out that there were a lot of things on there that I saw and I went, ooh, and I would just kind of, feel a little uncomfortable with that. One of the quotes that I saw was, "Don't tell people your plans, show people your results." Seems somewhat benign, right? Well, actually, that really falls right in line to one of the chapters that I have in the book. And so I thought, you know what, I would use this as an opportunity to share with you some of the things that I have. It's kind of later in the book. So this in the book, it's actually it's a waste of time if I don't lose weight. And one of the things that really bothers me about this, don't tell people your plans, show them your results, is in the fitness world, in the health world, all it does is it focuses on the visual aspect. Now, if you've been with me a while, you know that I am like visual. Your size is not an assessment of your health. I've had some wonderful guests on. I had Dr. Lisa Folden on, who's Healthy Fit here on Instagram. She talked about health at every size, and I absolutely believe in that. So I don't think that we can show our results effectively if we think that that is how we're going to show it. And look, in terms of, don't tell people your plans, I am like the biggest planner. In fact, I wish you could see my my online calendar. What I do, a little trick I do, is I fill in my to-do list, or I take my to-do list and fill in my calendar with it. So that way I know, like, okay, if this project is going to take me 15 minutes, I put it in the calendar. If it's going to take me an hour, then I put it in the calendar. And that way I'm hopefully somewhat realistic in how long it'll take me to do something. Does it always get done? And no. No. And in fact, I have things on there like, go to Facebook and Instagram and engage every day for 30 minutes. And I'm terrible at that. I'm just terrible at that. So sometimes they don't always get in. But I have all kinds of lists. I love making lists, and I really love checking them off. So I'm a huge planner, and I'm a big advocate of that if that's what helps. But the difference is, when we rely on our body to show results, and I'm using that in quotes, then that's not telling the full story. I wanted to give you a few things to consider that maybe will have positive results when you start to put the foods that God gave you into your body, and you move in a way that's joyful and you like. And that's going to be different for everyone. For me, that is HIIT training and sometimes strength training, sometimes not, and walking and mobility. But for other people, that might be getting on the Peloton or doing a Zumba class, or there's hiking. I forget that there's hiking because I can't hike here in Houston, but there's all kinds of different ways, right? There's no one right way. So, but putting all of that together can actually yield wonderful results, but that doesn't mean that you can actually see all of them. So I want to kind of give you a few things to think about for how to assess your results that don't necessarily they're not shown visually. I'm live here on Instagram. I'm actually also recording for a podcast episode, and New Girl, New World says, the process should be fun too, as opposed to just focus on the results. I love doing Zumba. Love it. Yes. Process should be fun. It should be exciting. It should not be a dread. That's another rule we should probably break on here. But let's just talk some about what kind of results that we can look at or we can consider, rather than saying we're going to show people our results, show them in our body, because our body does not necessarily reflect how hard we've been working. And conversely, our body can show us that, you know what, we have some issues going on. So it might be that, maybe we've got some sort of medical issue that's causing us to lose weight. It might be that we're depressed and we're not eating, and that's a mental health issue that we need to address with a professional, or in however way that is, to help your mental health. But in terms of some other like non-visual successes, I would love for you to consider, like, how's your functionality? How well are you moving? I love, or not love, but we all have our own errands, right? And we're going places and we're doing things. And if I'm able to pick up the heavy things that I'm buying at Costco, or the 40-pound salt bags to put into the pool, then those are going to be great ways of being functionally working better and having good results. But maybe you can see that, but maybe you can't. Another one is, how's your body feeling? Are you able to move a little bit better? I know for me, when I start to eat too much chocolate, maybe drink, an extra glass of wine, or eat fast food or something like that, my left hip will always hurt when I sleep. And so I can tell, like, that's my body saying, hey, you're not giving me the things that I need and I want to thrive. So that's a way that, if I start to feel better, or if maybe while you're sleeping, that's another one, is your sleeping getting better, then, that's a great result. That's a great result that you can't always see. Another one is your waist. I know I'm going there. Sorry, boys, if you're watching this, but if your bathroom time is, we're just to say if it's better, if you're having like really difficult bowel movements, then you probably aren't having enough water, or maybe fiber, assuming there's not like, medicine that's causing that or something like that. Your body, but your waist is going to tell you if your urine is more clear. That's another way of saying, okay, you're giving your body what you need. That's a great result. How's your fitness performance? Are you able to do an extra push-up? Are you able to do an extra squat, or maybe run a little farther, or go deeper, or however, hold the plank longer, whatever that is? You might be able to do that, and you can't see anything on the outside, but your inside is getting so much stronger. How's your energy level? Quite often when we start to give our body the food that God designed and the food that we need, and couple that with moving it in a way that is joyful, that we really like doing, then we're going to have better energy. I can go about 2, maybe 3 days without moving, and then my energy levels drop, my mental state really drops, and I know that something is off, and I can feel that something is off. So again, you can't visually see anything. Those aren't results that you can see, but definitely, I feel that. And then another one that which just has a little bit more longer perspective is, how's your immunity? We are in the middle of winter. It is, as I'm recording this, it's December 6th, and the sun, we're not getting as much vitamin D. We may not be getting outside in the fresh air as much. And quite honestly, it's typical cold and flu season. And of course, with the whole COVID thing, like, that's adding a whole new element. So kind of figure, are you getting sicker? Or maybe are you going through the season and going, man, I normally have a cold by now, and I haven't, which is great. So that is, that's another thing to look at and to think about, that again, is you can't tell from your immunity. And then again, the other one that I kind of mentioned earlier is, how's your emotional state? How's your mental state? And I will say this a lot. You can execute that fitness to perfection, and you can do whatever kind of eating plan that you think is right for you to perfection. But if you are a cranky, hot mess, it might be that that's not balanced for you, and we need to ease up a little in order to get our mind right. Because the one thing I am learning more and more and more is how the mind and body is so connected. And I'm having some podcast guests on early in 2022 to talk about this. I'm super excited about it, but we cannot discount that. So those are just a few things that I wanted to break with this rule. Don't tell people your plan, show them your results, because you can't always see results, but there are a lot of things that happen on the inside that will tell us if we are taking care of ourselves in the best way possible so we can do what God calls us to do. So that is our little live for today, our rule to break today. Tomorrow, I will be coming back on and we will be talking about another one and another rule to break. So make sure that you join me. And yes, I will be talking some about the book, Your Worthy Body. And I will also not, because there are some things that just didn't get a chance to make it in there. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a version 2 at some point. But anyway, that is all I have for today. And I'm so glad you guys joined me here, whether or not you're watching live or if you're listening in later or on the podcast. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take these, and actually, if you want to listen to them again, just through your ears, they will be on the podcast during the month of December. Thank you guys. And I'm going to sign off the way I do on my podcast, which is that's all for today, and have a graced day. Bye-bye.